Good morning. Good morning. There we go. Did you guys have fun yesterday? Too much? That Adelphi party was pretty cool. That's awesome. So my name's Dave Bigler, and I'm not a local Saratogan, which is I think why Convention and Tourism Bureau decided to, or asked me to come and speak. I'm an outsider that has absolutely fallen in love with Saratoga. So I'm going to take a few minutes, if that's cool with you, to give you a little bit of my background and how I got to Saratoga, and then give you the four main reasons and the things that you need to be an awesome place like Saratoga. Is that cool? Awesome. Okay, so my name is Dave Bigler. I own Dave Bigler Photos and Films. We do about 50 weddings a year in the local market between 4 teams. We have 2 photo teams and 2 video teams. And we do about 35 to 40% of our weddings are local, but those brides live more than 2 hours away from here. So this is a destination spot, and it's kind of fun to be in my position. A lot of people ask, do you do destination weddings? And the reality is that I got so much business right here that I really don't end up traveling all that often because I don't need to, which is nice. I also own Saratoga Portrait Studio, which our office for both Bigler as well as Saratoga Portrait Studio is directly across the street from the Adelphi. If you look up from the steps, you'll see a fedora with my name on it. And that's where we're at. It's a beautiful space that's up there that we do modeling stuff, senior pictures, all kinds of things. And as some of you may know, yesterday you saw me at Saratoga National for Smile Lounge, which is another business that I am a partner in. That's a photo booth company, and this year we launched the Smile Buggy, which is half of a Volkswagen Beetle that I cart around and people pose behind it, which the majority of you were there for that, which is great. So I'm curious where everyone's from. New York City. Who's from New York City? Wow. That's awesome. Go to New York City. New Jersey. Where's everybody from? Long Island. Okay, awesome. I heard Connecticut. Boston. Yeah, go Boston. That's awesome. I'm originally from Seattle. So I grew up in Seattle, and then when I was 18 years old, I moved to Colorado and went to the University of Colorado at Boulder, got my undergrad and my master's, and I got married there. And as soon as I finished my master's, I decided I wanted to go into business for myself and open up a video production and photography business. But I wanted to do it in the Northwest. I love the Northwest. And my wife, we were newly married, and so she was, yeah, I'll support you. We'll go to the Northwest. Colorado, has anybody ever lived in Colorado? In Colorado? Anybody live in the Northwest? Okay, awesome. So Colorado has 300 days of sun. 300 days where you don't see a cloud. It's the sunshine state. And for the person that's from the Northwest, it's not like that. It's the inverse. There's 300 days out of the year where you actually do not see the sun at all. So if you look outside right now, you can't see the sun. That's Washington for you. And I grew up there, and I absolutely love it. So my wife, thankfully, worked nights as an ICU nurse for the first year and a half that we lived in Portland, Oregon. And about 3 months after she switched to days, she realized, wow, it's dreary. Being from Colorado and her always seeing the sun, she needed more sun. And she is wicked smart, for my Boston person there, wicked smart. She is an amazingly intelligent woman, and so she wanted to go back to school to become a nurse anesthetist, doing anesthesia. So I said, absolutely, you can get in anywhere you want, apply to all the top programs, and we'll move to wherever you want to go. So locations on the list. OHSU, which is downtown Portland, is where she was working, and they did have a program. That was my first choice because I already had a business started up there, employees, and it was going relatively well. Next, there was a program in New York City, which I was pumped. I was like, yes, going to living in New York City would be so much fun. We could have an apartment this size and pay $3,000 for it. It'll be so much fun. But that would be a great experience to be downtown, and as a photographer, the market is huge. The market is so huge, so I was excited about that. And then there was Boston, downtown Boston, also really, really fun spot. And from my perspective as a photographer, huge market, phenomenal market. I'll be able to do phenomenal there. Then there was Albany. I had to look that up on a map. It's like, that's a suburb of New York City, right? No. So we went on a tour, and in February of 2009, we came to Albany and stayed at the hotel that's directly across from Albany Med. And for those who are local, you know Albany Med has this whole new gorgeous wing and all these new buildings. Well, in 2009, the locations where those were going to be were all condemned brownstone houses that looked like they're crack dens. In fact, probably some of them were. So I had the bright idea, let's take a walk from Albany Med to go down and look at the Capitol. In February, it was 5 degrees. There was a little bit of snow. It was brown. It was disgusting. You can understand why Albany was at the bottom of my list of places to live. And then after that tour, we went to Boston, went out to an Irish pub. I got to have my Guinness and my Jameson, and I was like, yes, we're going to move to Boston. We moved to Albany. Albany Med, amazing program. And Celicia got into all of the locations that she applied to. And so the best thing for her career was to move to Albany. So we moved to Albany, and we're figuring out exactly where we're going to live, and we're doing tours. And we ended up living in Clifton Park because it was closer down to Albany. Driving on Broadway into Saratoga for the very first time, it was right here. It was right before getting to the Adelphi when I looked around and I was like, oh, this is a cool place. This is really cool. Up until that point, I mean, yes, the Capital District does have some really cool spots. And since moving here, like Troy is up and coming without a doubt. And Schenectady actually has some cool spots as well. But it was driving through Saratoga where I was like, oh, I can hang here. This is pretty cool. And it was ironic is that I was right in front of the Adelphi when I looked out and I was like, I would love to one day have a studio right here. And now we have a massive studio with 6 rooms in it, and it's a blast. It's a blast. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about what you need as an event planner for a destination for either a bride or a client. The first thing that you need, I mean, and you guys all know these things, I'm not telling you anything new, but you need a venue. You need a building or something that attracts them. Saratoga, as you guys toured yesterday, holy cow. The Hall of Springs, that's Cinderella's castle. I mean, like, you go in there and you're like, if you have that bride that wants that gorgeous Vera Wang, just huge dress and wants to have the Cinderella wedding, boom, Hall of Springs. I mean, those columns, just insane, beautiful. Canfield is where we're at now, which is one of my favorite venues. This is one of the most historic Saratoga feels to me. It was originally a casino by a notorious gangster who started it up, and the rooms upstairs that are now the History Museum you can go and tour were for extracurricular activities for the guests after they played in the casino. It's great history. But you have amazing venues. Well, today you are all going to go and check out some of the amazing barn venues, which, I mean, as most of you know, doing farm-style weddings and events is trending like crazy right now. Everybody wants to have that rustic barn wedding. Well, you're going to go see some amazing venues. So there's no doubt, there's no question whatsoever that Saratoga has some of the best venues. And the reason for that is that Saratoga, back in the 1890s, was bigger than Vegas. It was the destination for New York City to come and play. And so as a result of that, we have some amazing old buildings that are phenomenal, and you all have seen those. So, and we also have new up-and-coming spaces as well, which is really neat. So yes, we have the location, but you can't just sell someone on that. You can't just say, well, it's a beautiful building. You have to have places for them to stay. You have to have hotels. Well, there's quite a few people in the room right now that would love to talk to you about the awesome hotels in Saratoga. Can I get hands raised for everybody who works at one of these awesome hotels? Yes, they will tell you about how awesome Saratoga is for room stays. The neat thing is, from right here, walking distance, you have amazing hotels. And from a photographer's standpoint, there are great locations for brides to get ready in. Pavilion Grand is one of my favorites. Huge, wide open, bright light coming in. You now have the Adelphi, which is a great spot as well, right on Broadway. So the horse track here in Saratoga is responsible in credit for a lot of the awesome things that we have in Saratoga. For a brief period in the summer, there's a lot of people that come and play in Saratoga. And as a result of that, all these awesome hotels exist to be able to give them a place to stay. Well, throughout the whole rest of the year, it makes it very, very easy for brides and grooms and for events to get room blocks, and Kayla can help you with that. So you have your awesome venue, you got Canfield Casino, you've got great spots to come and have the party, you got places for guests to stay. The third thing is it's not about, if you're going to do a destination in Saratoga, you need stuff for people to do. It can't just be about that one party. So Saratoga's nightlife, as I think some of you experienced, and those empty seats experienced it a little too well. I mean, we're in March, right? This is March. And I don't know how, I mean, it's an awesome, awesome downtown. But there's so much more than the amazing restaurants and the amazing bars to go to. There's a lot of activities that you can do. In the summer, at the peak, you can go to the track, which is such an awesome experience. If you haven't done that, you have to come and experience the track. Okay? So you have the brick and mortar locations, you have the farms, and you can also do tents and do amazing things with that. So that's the first thing. Second thing is the hotels. Third thing is things for guests to do. The fourth thing that you need are vendors, are people that you can partner with that know what they're doing. And you got those here. There's no question of that. 35 to 40% of my business is people who are coming from outside the area. So as a result, this is a competitive market. It's raised the bar. If you go to some podunk, middle of nowhere type locations, you're gonna have to bring that photographer. You're gonna have to bring that band, that DJ. You're gonna have to cart all the linens because, yeah, they'll have like 3 styles, you know? But here in Saratoga, you have so many options. Colin Cowie actually did a wedding here a couple of years ago, and he used all local vendors for nearly everything. For the tents, for the drape, for nearly everything. Everything was here. The photographer, the videographer, everything was here already. So, and you know, they happen to have amazing photographers here. Really, really good photographers. So don't bring your photographer. We have them here. So the final thing that I'll mention about why I love Saratoga is that I'm from the Northwest. And my expectation of New York City and moving to the East Coast was that it's going to be very aggressive. You know, that people are going to walk down the street and just be very assertive and just like, boom, which that is true. That is true. The Northwest is really a place where people are genuine and nice, not so far as to be like Southern hospitality, which is great, but the thing I've learned with Southern hospitality is someone will say, oh, you said, bless your soul, bless you, and you don't know whether that actually means bless you or F you. There's really no way to know the difference between that. I'm learning this, and I'm just assuming that they're saying bless you. Well, when you walk in New York City, when someone says F you, they might actually be saying bless you. Because that's New York City. I mean, they're just saying, hey, good day. Hey, how you doing? And with the Northwest, people are very genuine and very just nice, welcoming people. You go into a coffee shop, and you don't just order the coffee. They're actually going to ask how you're doing, and they genuinely want to know. You'll have a conversation with them. Moving here, and I started doing that. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, they asked how I'm doing. I want to chat back with them. So the thing that's amazing about Saratoga, it's more like the Northwest in that personality, is that the people that are here, yes, you do get that assertive New Yorker, and I love meeting with Long Island moms of brides from Long Island. I love just the bluntness. It's like I'll sit there and I'll give my whole spiel, we'll be talking back and forth, and then it's just boom, I see that's what you charge. What's your bottom line? And it's like, whoa. But I love it, because if you're assertive back, they respect you. Like, nope, that is my bottom line. Oh, I like him, we should hire him. So those are the 5 reasons why Saratoga should be the destination that you tell all of your brides, all of your clients, why they should come here. I think it's a disservice to them to not. So I am going to be joining you as we go and tour the farm venues today. But before we go and do that, I highly suggest that you go and connect with the local hotels that are here. And throughout our tour, if you have any questions for me, whether it's on the local market itself, photography, video production, but also on Saratoga, I'm happy to answer them for you. I planned on living in Saratoga, in the Capital District for 2 years while my wife was getting her graduate degree. We absolutely love it. We bought a house here. We live in Boston Spa. We're about 8 minutes from here. and we're never leaving. In the comparison of the different markets that I was looking at, I did a feasibility study to look and see what kind of business was available. And Albany, it was tough to find. I'm going to be honest with you, in comparison to the competition. And what I discovered is this is where God wanted us to be. This is where we were supposed to be. And this is by far the best location for my wife and I to have moved to because of the wedding industry. It has absolutely exploded our business because of all the things that I mentioned. So, thank you very much. And I do think that it's a disservice if you don't invite all of your brides to come to Saratoga. Thank you very much.